Hello there and welcome to another edition of Washington Football's Unfiltered Show, The Beat. I am your host, Chip Brierre. Happy holidays wherever you are celebrating this weekend. A huge matchup against the Carolina Panthers this Sunday at 4:05 p.m. that could clinch the NFC East Division title. Requires a huge panel to get the discussion going today. We have Jonathan Jones, CBS Sports senior NFL reporter. We also have Tiffany Blackmon, host of Washington Football's pregame show, and Grant Paulson of 106.7 The Fan, host of Grant and Danny from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Monday through Friday. Before we dive right in, we want to acknowledge the latest on Dwayne Haskins, who has apologized to the team, head coach Ron Rivera, as well as the whole organization for attending a party that had 10 or more attendants without wearing a mask. He has had his captain status removed and is still eligible to play in this game against the Panthers, currently listed as the backup. If Alex Smith, who is named the starting quarterback leading into the game, cannot go, it will be Dwayne Haskins under center if he still continues to test negative for COVID-19. Very quickly, we will dive into what this means for the Washington Football team as they get ready for this game. Grant, take it away.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, it means, right, that we're not really sure who's going to start at quarterback this week. So that's number one. You know, the offense doesn't change a ton. It's not like you've got one pocket passer who's immobile and one guy who's going to scramble all over the place. So I think they'll be able to put their plan together. You know, as far as the news goes, it's disappointing. It's tough. It's a sophomore quarterback in his second year. It's a mistake. It's an immature moment. He's going to have to learn from and move on. What I love about this, though, is, you know, this is sports. This is football. So now if he does get to play on Sunday, you get to make amends. I mean, literally, you go out and you play a great game and you lead your team to victory and they clinch the division and apologize that way. That could be a real good thing for him.
Yeah, it was nice to see him talk to the media. He wasn't scheduled to do that during the week, but even he faced the noise and apologized for it. So high marks for him facing what he has had to go through this week. Now we get into the nuts and bolts of this game, and it's one we've all had circled for a very long time. Ron Rivera goes up against his former team in Carolina, and despite their 4-10 record, Washington can win this game, get help from a Giants loss to the Ravens, and clinch the NFC East Division title. Tiffany, you had a chance to talk to Ron Rivera. How excited is he for this chance to play his former team?
Yeah, I spoke to him today. He's just excited to play football in general. It has nothing to do with his former team, and that's what he wants this team, this Washington Football team, to focus on. And just a little bit of what he said, this is not about me. We have an opponent as a team to win a football game. You know, that's what they have to go out and do. He said they want to get into the playoffs. That's all that matters. It's not a revenge game. And I also said to him, you know, you've been in this position before, going up against your former team. And he gave a great example of it when he was with Chicago and he was let go by Lovie Smith, you know, right after they went to the Super Bowl because he wanted to change things up. And then he goes to San Diego, and guess who they're opening up the season with? The Chicago Bears. So it's something that Coach Rivera has dealt with before, seen it, done it, and he's really good, as Jonathan can attest to, at galvanizing, at managing his team during periods of time which can seem like there's a big distraction on the outside, that there's a lot going on to us on the outside.
Yeah, I covered Ron from 2012 up through the Super Bowl and into the 2016 season as a beat writer for the Charlotte Observer. And so, you know, got to know Ron day in, day out. And yeah, obviously, I'll tell you what, I'm not surprised at all that he has this team exactly where they are right now in competition to win the division. Of course, when he was with the Panthers, they were 3-8-1, hadn't won a game in 2 months. And he was running all of the computations and figuring out that, hey, you know, we have a chance. And I'm looking at Ron in those press conferences and I'm like, buddy, no, you don't. And it turns out they went out in December. He finishes 7-8-1. They get into the playoffs by virtue of winning the division, and then they go on host a playoff game and win. So I've seen it. I know about him and seeing that chance and believing in that. Obviously, that was the message that he was telling his Washington football team. And look, it's true. And to be in the position that they're in right now also speaks very well to Ron Rivera in a tumultuous season that they are in this position.
I do know, though, that Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio are probably having some sleepless nights trying to figure out how they're going to slow down the combination of Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, who both have 1,000-yard receiving seasons. That is second behind Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill of the Kansas City Chiefs. And Grant, the Washington pass defense is third in the NFL right now. They did okay against Seattle. Do you think that continues, that they can slow these guys down and give themselves a chance to win with the offense?
Yeah, I do. I think it continues. I think what they've done is sustainable. I mean, it's not an accident that you're in week 16 and you're ranking atop the league in a category or near it. This is not a fluke. It's not a house of cards. I mean, they've got a really good pass rush, and a really good pass rush generally equates to the ability to keep teams from throwing the football effectively on you. You've got corners playing well in Kendall Fuller and Ronald Darby. Jimmy Moreland has come on in the slot, is having a fantastic season as a 7th-round pick last year from JMU, and everyone watching knows that at the beginning of the year, the thought was you're going to see some Fabian Moreau. We're going to mix and match. Maybe Fuller plays some nickel. Moreland's been so good, they haven't had to do that. And the story to me of this secondary has been the play of their young safeties. Cameron Curl, as a 7th-round pick, was just not expected to help that much in this role. Landon Collins gets hurt. DeShazer Everett's down. Troy Apke started the year on the field and is now no longer starting. And Cameron Curl's been a mainstay. I like what I've seen from Jeremy Reeves at the other safety as well. That type of thing happens with coaching, with player development, with evaluating your talent well. And those are marks that Washington's front office and coaching staff deserves a lot of credit for. So I think they will be able to defend Carolina okay. And I really like the fact for Washington, Christian McCaffrey is doubtful right now because obviously he's one of the great weapons in the league. And Jonathan, you'd have to tell me what Carolina's doing or thinking because he's still out there like running around as if he's going to play. And it's week 16. And I don't really get what the plan is with him. I'd have shut him down a month ago. But as of right now, he's listed doubtful.
Yeah, you would normally shut him down, right? But Christian McCaffrey absolutely wants to play. I would be surprised if he winds up playing this week. But, you talk about that Washington pass rush. And listen, Teddy Bridgewater can get rattled. He's been very, very poor at end of half situations. And so if you can get around his feet, if you can apply pressure to him and rattle him, he's sort of proven this season that he doesn't handle that as well as you would like. But the thing about how defenses have been playing the Carolina Panthers with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson is they do give those guys a lot of cushion. You want to give Robbie a little bit more cushion than DJ because of his speed. DJ's a little bit better with the ball in his hands, especially yards after the catch. He gets 2.5 yak over expected, which is 3rd best in the league. So because of the way defenses have been playing them, they will drain you and they will drain the clock. They are 2nd in the league in terms of plays per drive and time per drive because Teddy Bridgewater, with that high completion percentage, upwards of 70%, he will take what the defense gives him. So get around his feet, upset him, rattle him, and that will certainly be maybe not just a key, but the key to winning.
Yeah, those long drives, a credit to Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, who a lot of people are thinking is going to get a head coaching job in the NFL possibly soon. Something to keep an eye on if you're a Carolina Panthers fan. And for the Washington football fans out there, they have 2 Pro Bowlers that they can look forward to whenever the postseason wraps up. If they do clinch the NFC East Division title, that would be Brandon Sheriff, a usual suspect of the Pro Bowl, and a new face that comes as no surprise, Chase Young. So those 2 are your Pro Bowlers for the Washington football team. But panel, I think the bigger discussion is who got snubbed from the Washington football team. You have Montez Sweat, Terry McLaurin, and there was even an argument being made for Logan Thomas. So Tiffany, I want to start with you before we wrap up with the rest of the panel of what you think of the Pro Bowl situation for Washington football.
Terry McLaurin got snubbed. Do I have to say anything?
You don't have to if you don't want to. We can go to the next person in line. Let's go to Jonathan then.
I mean, I think he got snubbed. I kind of, I won't say it blows my mind, but I mean, it is quite surprising given, especially how he started this season. Yeah, he's been hampered by a little bit of injuries. And then, what was it like? Not last week, but the week before, obviously, maybe not one of his more productive games, but yeah, that's who I would think is the snub on this team.
Yeah, Tiffany, and I'd agree with you. And so I'll take another route here. And when you talk about Pro Bowl snubs, a lot of times you have to say, okay, who are you going to replace or who are you going to take out in order to give that role to someone? And I will very quickly tell you that I could have Logan Thomas in there over an Evan Ingram. They have identical receptions and yards. Basically, Thomas has 5 touchdowns to Ingram's 1. Ingram has 6 drops to Thomas's 3, I believe. And so, he's getting into the end zone. He is a crucial part of that team. Ingram has dropped a couple that actually cost his team a game. Obviously, Robert Tonyan in Green Bay has a pretty decent argument to get in over Evan Ingram. But if I'm taking somebody out, it will be Evan Ingram, and I can put Logan Thomas in there from Washington.
Yes, Jonathan kind of took the words out of my mouth. I like Logan Thomas as the answer a lot. Coming into the year, you had dummies like me on the radio saying that the tight end position here was ill-equipped and that they were not good enough and that they didn't address it and that it was malpractice, that they didn't actually go out and acquire someone to help a young quarterback at that spot. When the fact is that Kyle Smith and Ron Rivera and the staff were correct and we were not, which was that Logan Thomas, who had never had a season like this one, was capable of. Really, really happy for Chase Young. I know some people just look at his sack total all the time. I think that that's ludicrous. He's such an impactful player. He does so many things that offensive coordinators are petrified about on Wednesday and Thursday. And I'm glad that the league got it right and didn't just say, 5.5 sacks. This guy's got 9 or something like that. I thought they did the right thing with him because he is the real deal, and we've seen it all year long.
He is the face of the franchise. He really is. And I know you want to get your point in, Tiffany, but we got to get to that break. I promise we're going to get you back on here for who you taking in some matchups between Washington and Carolina as we continue the beat right after this with Grant, Tiffany, and Jonathan. Keep it locked.
We all know things are different. Keeping you safe is not. At Innova, we ensure the safety of everyone who comes to us with safe locations, safe supplies, safe cleaning, and safe practices. You're safe at Innova. Get the facts at innova.org/safety.
It's 2020. Let's make a splash. Play the DC Lottery's Roaring Cash.
I choose VA because they made me whole again.
I choose the VA because the VA cares.
I choose the VA because they provide seamless care through all stages of life.
I choose VA because it helped me with my PTSD.
I choose the VA because they make me feel important.
I choose VA because they've saved my life.
I choose VA because I'm a veteran and I enjoy serving veterans.
Choose VA today. For more information, visit va.gov.
DC has a home for the greatest hits of all time.
That would be Michael Jackson for me.
DC's greatest hits.
Madonna.
Billy Idol. Live here.
Cyndi Lauper.
Bon Jovi.
94.7.
Blondie.
The Eagles.
The Drive.
Welcome back to The Beat. Your host, Chip Brierre, here alongside Jonathan Jones, Tiffany Blackmon, and Grant Paulson, who, by the way, has welcomed his second child into the world. Quick clap, quick clap, quick clap. Well done, sir. Well done. We got who you taking in the matchup between the Washington football team and the Carolina Panthers. Let's start with the new daddy, Grant Paulson. We have for you Kendall Fuller or Dante Jackson in that matchup. Who you taking?
Kendall Fuller's had a very, very good year. Started the season hot. I mean, this is a guy who, Pro Football Focus had as one of the highest graded corners in the league in his first month on the field. Remember, didn't play the first couple games and had some really impactful moments. Interception against the Giants that kept Washington in the game. I just like how physical he's been on the outside, on the boundary. I think this is a guy who you could kick inside the nickel. We've seen him play a little bit of safety as well. The versatility is one of the reasons they loved him. And they paid him $10 million AAV to get in here this year. And he has been a really integral part of a secondary, as we talked about. That's one of the higher rated in the league in terms of defending the pass.
And a veteran who's leading a lot of young players. That is so valuable to a defensive coordinator like Jack Del Rio. Now, Jonathan, the receiving matchup between Terry McLaurin and DJ Moore, who are you taking?
That is a really tough one. And it's hard for me because I see a lot of one in the other. And honestly, if DJ were in Terry's shoes, I could possibly go with DJ if he were in Washington, because Terry shoulders the load up there, and no one in the league has a greater share of his team's air yards than Terry McLaurin. So because of that, because of what he has been shouldering week in, week out, and consistently performing at that level, understanding what he's having to do, that's why I'm going to go with Terry. But yeah, that was a really close one for me.
Yes, it's going to be a great matchup to watch. And now Tiffany rounds it out with our head coaching matchup. Ron Rivera and Matt Rule. Who you taking?
I'm going to go with Coach Rivera, not to be biased or anything like that. But I mean, you're going with a guy who's been in these types of games before. There's a lot of hype around it on the outside, but he knows how to navigate through this. He knows how to navigate his team through this. And as he said, it's not a battle between him and Matt Rule. There will be some emotion going into this game, but I don't think anyone's better equipped to deal with a game like this than Rivera.
That is who are we taking for this match between the Washington football team and the Carolina Panthers. And now it is time for some predictions. Let's start with Jonathan. Who do you think is going to win? And if you can, provide a score.
Yeah, a lot's going to depend on the quarterback, obviously, but I'm going to take Washington in this one, believing that there will be modest quarterback play, and I'm going to go with a score of 27-24.
Next we go, Tiffany.
I was going to go 20-17 in favor of Washington. That's my take.
Grant?
I'm going to say 17-13 Washington. I don't yet know enough about quarterback to feel good about a lot of offense, but I think this defense can put this game away late, maybe with a big play.
There's 5 ways to win.
Yeah.
That's what's happened lately.
It is. And if this prediction holds true for our panel and the Giants lose to the Ravens, the Washington football team will be NFC East Division champions. Who would have thought at the beginning of the season that would be a possibility this late in the year? Now we go to who we are watching, the person, the player, the coach that we are keeping our eyes on for Sunday's game. Let's start with Grant.
I'm going to go with Cam Sims. He's interesting to me for a lot of reasons, but as the number 2 wide receiver for Washington over the last several weeks, Cam Sims has established himself as a possible answer moving forward. Another guy I'll throw out there really quickly and be succinct here is Curtis Samuel. If he goes for Carolina, it's a free agent to be. A lot of familiarity with Ron Rivera is a guy that I think Washington could target when they try to upgrade that position this year. So for the same reason, you're looking for help from McLaurin. Cam Sims is trying to provide it internally. Samuel's a guy that would interest me coming here this offseason.
Tiffany, how about you?
I'm watching the front 7 up against this Carolina offensive line that hasn't been that great. I think they're going to be able to put the pressure on Teddy Bridgewater. And if he gets rattled, game's probably over.
And finally, Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at Thomas Davis out there. Quality human being. I know he hasn't been playing probably as much as he would like to, but he's getting out there and playing against his former team for the first time. Didn't get a chance when he was in LA to play the Carolina Panthers. So I think he's going to be bringing it as well. Everybody's talking about Ron against Carolina. It's Thomas as well.
How can I forget?
That's right. That's your guy, Thomas Davis. So I'm going to be looking for TD in this one.
Excellent. Thank you to our panel for joining us this week. We had Jonathan Jones, CBS Sports senior NFL reporter, Tiffany Blackmon, host of Washington Football's pregame show, and Grant Paulson, host of Grant and Danny on 106.7 The Fan every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I've been your host, Chip Brierre. Thanks so much for tuning in. Enjoy the game on Sunday against the Carolina Panthers at 4:05 p.m. And we'll see you next time right here on The Beat.
At Honda, we take the holidays seriously. With serious style and serious capability. So while others may be decking the halls, you could be dashing through the snow with the best value of the season. Now's the best time to get into a new Honda. KBB.com's best value brand for 2020. Visit Happy Honda Days at your local Honda dealer or shop online to get a great offer on the CR-V.
FanDuel's simple, intuitive app makes it easy to get closer to the game. But to get Dan even closer, we've arranged for him to experience a genuine James Harrison tackle.
Wait, what? tackle? Can we not do the tackle?
If he doesn't tackle you, he doesn't get paid.
Doesn't get paid. Oh, okay.
FanDuel. Join today and play free all season long.
It's 2020. Let's make a splash. Play the DC Lottery's Roaring Cash.
At Inova, COVID-19 testing of all patients having a procedure or surgery, continuous training of our team members, and thorough cleaning of our facilities are just some of the many ways we work to keep you safe. You're safe at Inova.
DC has a home for the greatest hits of all time.
That would be Michael Jackson for me.
DC's greatest hits.
Madonna.
Billy Idol. Live here.
Cyndi Lauper. Bon Jovi.
94.7.
Blondie. The Eagles.
The Drive.
It's all-wheel drive season, and your local Honda dealers are bringing the best deals of the year. It's clearance pricing during the Happy Honda Days sales event. Dash through the snow to a rugged and adventurous Honda. Check out the entire all-wheel drive truck and SUV lineup. CRV, HRV, Ridgeline, Pilot, and Passport, with features like Honda Sensing, Magic Folding Seats, and 3 different driving modes. Clearance pricing is here, but it won't last long. Don't miss clearance pricing at the Happy Honda Days sales event, now at your local Honda dealer.